Hello gamers, so I've got a new video for you guys today. We have Samwise Saffi combo. So this deck list is wanting to use the Samwise combo of Samwise Gamgee, Cauldron Familiar, and a sack outlet, in this case the Seer, to drain our opponents for infinite life. So how this works is every time the Cauldron Familiar enters the battlefield, it makes a food and drains our opponent for 1 life. And then the sack outlet can sack the Familiar, and we can repeat this process as many times as we want. And then this is a 3-card combo, and it sounds very fragile. However, for every food you have, you can play through an extra piece of removal or graveyard. A bit of hate onto the stack, you can just reactivate your Cauldron Familiar and do it again. So it's actually a lot more resilient combo than you might initially think, and it's very low to the ground. With Cauldron Familiar being resilient to removal in the first place, it's actually surprisingly easy to set this combo up, especially with pieces like Card Calling and Birthing Ritual. To help with that, we have Extraction Specialist, which can help return our Samwises once they're removed. This is just a really great card in Birthing Ritual decks. It's basically free. Any 2-drop turns into it and gets your 2 drops back and gives you your ETBs again. I really love this card in just Birthing Ritual decks in general. And this is why I decided to put Saffi Eriksdotter into the deck. These two combo together. If you've seen Saffi Rallier, so Renegade Rallier combos from back in the day, you'll know about how this works. So every time you sacrifice Saffi, you target Extraction Specialist, and then you can sacrifice Extraction Specialist to your Seer to scry one, which will return the Extraction Specialist back, which can buy back the Saffi, and you can do this infinite times. So you can do infinite scries. If you have Guide of Souls on the field, you can gain infinite life and energy. Obviously, infinite energy is not too relevant, but infinite life is. And with Marionette Apprentice, it's going to do infinite drains onto your opponent. It's significantly stronger in paper, where you can actually gain infinite life, where you can't really do it on Magic Online. Well, that's the core of the deck. We've got some good cards just to fill out some slots. So Bowmaster and a 1-off Grist, and some Gilded Goose. We'll just quickly look into the sideboard. So we've got Drannith Magistrate for Storm. We've got Sun Cleanser for Energy. We've got Archon for Storm. We've got Gaddock Teague for big mana and Sweepers and a Ring. We've got Haywire Might mostly for a ring, Phyrexian Revoker mostly for a ring or for other activated abilities. A Curse Marauder, this is great against like Frogtide, this kind of deck. I think maybe now that Oculus is being popular, this is maybe dropping off in value, but against a frog. But yeah, I think it's still a sound piece of removal. Endurance, obviously, against Graveyard Hate, and then Outland Liberator is Artifact Enchantment Hate. So for this matchup, we're against Dimir Frog. I keep my opening 7 and just go for turn 1 Goose, and my opponent shocks in and Fatal pushes it and follows it up with a Frog. I decided to just go for Samwise because I got Cauldron Familiar and Card Calling in hand, so if he taps out and then maybe I can get a turn 3 kill, is the hope. But I don't draw an untapped land or a black source, so I'm sort of just stuck and going for Guide of Souls here. I did record this league a little while ago, so the opponent's still playing Tamiyo as opposed to On Earth and Oculus. Tamiyo is pretty good though. It does draw him a lot of cards throughout the course of the games. So he just flipped it over, upticked it, and put a count on the frog, so then they can cast Murktide Regent. They've gone for a super aggressive start here and tapped out. Unfortunately, I still don't draw another black source. I think if I draw a black source there, unless they got Force Negation, then I just win the game. But because I don't do that, I do still try and convoke Phyrexian 2 as they're swinging for pretty much lethal. No, they are swinging for lethal, sorry. I force them to use the Force Negation, and then I still get through a Card Calling. I just grab a Goose, so then I can tap it to make black mana. And my opponent has Orcish Bowmaster on my end step, which just means I'm dead next turn. Uh, I bring in Endurance and a Curse Marauder and take out some combo pieces and a Guided Souls. Look out at Guided Souls because it looked pretty bad that game. Yeah, it just didn't look impactful enough. I mulligan my first hand and keep my second hand, and I want to put back a land here. I have 2 land drops in my curving out at 2 right now, and I've got Goose. Birthing Ritual's super strong against Frog, so I want to get that down as early as possible. Just hope it doesn't eat a count spell, which it does. We still have spells now in the deck, so we'll get rid of the Tameo if we can. But we're just gonna get Stern Scolding here and just go in 1-for-1 with it being mana positive for them is pretty bad for us, obviously. We can still double spell though, so we'll get down Marionette. I go for an Upkeep Endurance to get them off hard casting Murktide, but we can't spell it, so we're still off hard cast Murktide. We can go for Goose. So we can go for Gingerbread, get a land, and then we are Counter Calling. So right now we've got the option to card for X is 2. So we can get an Accursed Marauder if we want to and destroy this Murktide that they've played. But instead I'll just go and make a food instead and eat food. Just trying to race right now, I think. It's not a winning race, but it's a race. We'll try for Extraction Specialist to get back from Marauder, but obviously we counter it. Over the next couple of turns I try to resolve my Orcish Bowmaster and Marionette Apprentice. Both of them eat a counter spell, and I concede the match. In this match I keep my opening 7, I'm on the draw. And my opponent goes turn 1 Hedge Maze and doesn't surveil anything into the yard, so I'm not too sure what we're on as of right now, so I just decide to play out the game going for combo, just lead them for serious here. And then my opponent untaps and they've got Sultai mana and Frog, which is a bit interesting. I land a Birthing Ritual and just go for Saffi because I've got Extraction Specialist in my hand. So my thought process is I can get the Extraction Specialist for Serious Seer going here. And have Infinite Scries and then Birthing Ritual into a win con. But opponent is playing main deck Agatha Soul Cauldron and takes away my Serious Seer. Yeah, really weird. I just cast the Extraction Specialist anyway, hit him for 2, and then I can sack Saffi on the end step and sack the Extraction Specialist and then get everything back. So it's a really nice little value engine. Obviously, if you whiff on a creature in the top 7, then it's really bad, but the odds of whiffing are so low. So we get 3 Guided Souls essentially here, but our Saffi can't block and we gain 2 life. Opponent discards Gristlebrand, and this is a Spiced Bear deck. It's really cool. You can put Gristlebrand onto Frog, and then right now he can pay 14 life, draw 14 cards, discard all of them, give it flying, and kill me. So once I realize this, I pack it up and we go next. He didn't even do that specifically though. He does get Emperor of Bones and Ulamog and kills me with this instead. So it's kind of nice to know that he showed me some extra cards, but I guess he was going to show me them regardless. I bring in Marauder's Endurance and Revoker. We just trim on some of our combo pieces and the Guide of Souls. So on the play now, I can have a bit of a quick start. I can go Goose turn 1 into turn 2 Samwise, and a follow-up Goose. Now we've got 5 mana available next turn. We're just needing our combo pieces, which obviously we're not too close to, especially with them having Dalfi Voidwalker. But with Marionette Apprentice, we do put a pretty good counter clock on them. And we have follow-up Graveyard Hate. Swinging for 4, and then I'm just going to hold up Cord, and I'm going to card for Marionette here to push extra damage, I believe. My opponent's not attacking with Delphi, I'm not too sure why. Maybe they're wanting to hit us. Oh, actually I don't card, I just use Goose to eat food. Yeah, I'm not too sure what the Delphi is being held back for so much. Obviously I can't attack into the frog on the board state. In response to the Emperor Bones, I will card and get an endurance. Luckily that resolved. They exile it to give their frog flying instead of shuffling, which is pretty good, but we don't attack after doing that, which is not good. Not good for them, obviously. We're just using Marionette static and just eating food to making food and using food with Gilded Goose just to drain them. I'll call for, this is where I call for another Marionette. And then I think I have lethal on board, so with Marionettes, the Geese each do 2 damage each, so that's 4 damage, and I can swing, and if they block, and then they take damage, and if you don't block, and then they take damage. Oh no, this is where I messed up, sorry, I messed up. So I grabbed a Curse Marauder, but they've got Delphi Voidwalker. So my thought process was I can stack my creatures, and then, like, I can stack a creature and then drain them again. For an extra 2, but because of Delphi Voidwalker, I don't get the death trigger on my Curse Marauder. They managed to get Gristlebrand into play with Psychic Frog and Emperor Bones. I can just take it. They can gain 7 if they want. They can't activate Gristlebrand still because they'll just die, so they just have to kind of sit there with 1 card in hand and 11 life and hope I don't find 11 damage. I draw a card calling and then just pass to them because I know I can. If I card for a Marionette, I can kill them through the ring damage, through the ring protection. So I just do that on their end step, and it works out. Decide to run back with the same sideboard. My opponent starts off by putting Rumble into the yard, and I just go for turn 1 Guide of Souls. Just hoping this can get out some removal. Obviously not, we've got Overlord. And they're gonna leave everything in the yard here. There's no point, they don't want the Ulamog in hand, so they'll just leave it in the yard. I decided to try and get the beats going with Guide of Souls. So I've got 3 energy now. The deck didn't seem to put up too well to having any pressure. Like, I just killed them through pressure last turn, and they had last game, and they had so much graveyard hate that I don't want to force myself on the graveyard plan. My friend puts Ulamog underneath Emperor, and then I swing with my flyer, and I can call a calling for Curse Marauder, which guarantees that they sacrifice their Emperor. So it's kind of bad against force negation, but I think it's a good plan. They sacrifice the Emperor, and then they can't attack me with the Ulamog. It was super wide. I play with Samwise on the Marionette. I can swing for 6 in the air. Now we're on 6 life, and I've got Marionette to drain things, and they scoop it up. For the third matchup here, I'm on the play again. I keep my opening 7 and just go for a turn 1 Cauldron Familiar. I've not got an amazing hand, but I do have Saffi and Extraction Specialist, so if I find a Viscera, then I'm pretty fine. But my opponent has turn 1, turn 0, I guess, for them, double Archive Trap, and I'm already less than half the cards left in my library before they've even played a land. I top deck Samwise, so obviously I go for that, and now what I need is just Viscera, and I can win. Oh no, I don't go for Samwise because I've not got I've not got Temple Garden in my deck left. It's been milled. Yeah, I still have Phyrexian Tower in the deck. I would 100% recommend cutting Phyrexian Tower from this exact build. I don't like it in this build. And this is why, if you cut it for extra white sources, and then the deck just runs a lot smoother here. I potentially still have like a white source in my deck. I've just got to turn the pressure on and just turn creatures sideways and hope it's enough. I've got 5 uncastable cards in my hand, and my opponent had like a blistering stab, but we slowed down a lot. We're just having land drops. The other ruins a bit annoying, but they just cycle. They just hardcast Fractured Sanity, and I go to 0 cards in library. I don't have much for this matchup, but I do have 3 endurances, which is super strong against Mill. After mulligan my first couple of hands because they don't really do anything, and then I'm stuck hitting like no landers or like 1 landers, so I'm going down to 4 here, and it's just it just looks awful. I've just got to keep my seer and my extraction specialist and hope I can find stuff. Yeah, we just skip a load of gameplay. Nothing too much interesting happens. I just get milled out. So for our next match of the league, I'm on a play and keep my opening 7. I've got Gilded Goose on turn 1, and my opponent just goes for a Hedge Maze. Looking similar to our other match. We don't play anything in the graveyard, but we can go for Samwise and Cauldron Familiar. Then we've got Card of Calling, so I'm just going to do it as soon as he puts something on the stack. Card of Calling for Visceracy and the opponent scoops. Very little, very non-game there, but it did show that they were on Living End because they cycled the Sphinx. They have a similar start. They put Hedge Maze and they put Island into the graveyard and cycle a Street Wraith from their turn 1, and I just play Goose. They have another Surveil land and Surveil a Living End to the graveyard, cycle a Generous End, put another Living End to the graveyard with Surveils. I tried to get them with Bowmaster, but they cycle in response. I can put Saffi into my yard, and then Extraction Specialist can buy it back if I need to. Opponent's life total is getting quite low now because we've had a couple of attacks and they've done a lot of fetching. The endurance puts away my Saffi, which is a bit annoying. But I can get Cauldron Familiar, and then I can card for Exodus 3 to get my own endurance. Gets Hardcast Flare of Denial. Opponent's still really struggling to find like a Cascade spell here. I go for Marionette Apprentice, and this makes it super hard for them to cast Living End now. Because if they cast Living End, they're going to take 5 damage. And they just don't find anything. So for game 5, match 5, I've forgot to record, so I'm just showing you the replay file in MTGO. The replay file is pretty fast paced as well, so we'll just go through it as we can. Obviously, we're against Boros Energy. We've got Gigantha and we've got Fossil Pride. We take out my Guided Souls. We probably think I'm on some Naya Energy build up until I show this. Now, again, a couple of life back there, which is nice, because I've fetched and shocked. We play a Gianni and take out my Cauldron Familiar. This is kind of alright. They've not got any energy creators, so I'm not too worried about the Static Prism. I've got Birthing Ritual into Cauldron Familiar, which I can sack and get my Marionette and gain some more life and some more energy. You can see this Guide of Souls has put up quite a lot of work for this aggro matchup. Like, if I didn't have this, I'd be pretty concerned about my life total. My opponent gets a Blood Moon. That's good for them. They've got 2 planes already, and so we can cast Lady of the Grave if you need it, but I do have Birthing Ritual, which helps a lot with Blood Moon, and I do have my basic forest, so I'm not like in the worst position ever here. This is what I was talking about in the deck tech. You can sack the Marionette, get back the Apprentice, and then get all the triggers again. Basically just gains me a bunch of life off Guide of Souls, gains me a life linker, and gains me a second server token. That's quite nice. I'm never really attacking or blocking with a Marionette. My opponent's last card is One Ring. Very, very scary last card to have. We've been trading pretty evenly so far. We attack with Ocelot Pride. I decide to block it, kind of forgetting that Blood Moon counts as a last permanent for Gianni. Sorry, Blood Moon counts as a red permanent for Gianni. I'm still not finding any basics, but I go for Burmaster. You could see, like, and briefly there, that I had like the option of Samwise. Maybe it was correct to just try and find a combo. But we do just have like a Gianni sitting on board, and then they get Goblin with Badman, and there's nothing I can do now. They can just ping out my creatures infinitely. I'm never gonna get like a trigger on my Birthing Ritual, so I just pack it in. I'm not winning this game. For game 2, we can look at our sideboard. Obviously, we want to bring in the Sun Cleansers. I usually like bringing Endurance against. I usually like Endurance against Energy. I'm not sure why I haven't bought it in here, but I've just trimmed on combo pieces for Sirisia and Samwise. We have a pretty fine start though. We've got Cat into Marionette. We've got Birthing Ritual online. Opponent's got the classic Guide of Souls into Pride, make some tokens. I bring in Haywire Might. I guess all the static prisons on the ring. From my sideboard, that is. And my Birthing Ritual hits a Sun Cleanser, but I actually take the Bowmaster to get rid of the Pride. I was more worried about him going a bit too wide for me here. But basically all I need is a Seer and they're dead. They really need to find a removal spell for Sam here. I trade Cats. It flips the Gianni, but we've not got a red source, so it's fine. We can deal with 3 damage to it. We can 0 Gianni and make a Cat, but they forget to do it. I guess they just didn't think I would block and probably yielded for their turn. So now I just swing out and ping their Cat token, and they concede. Obviously, I just run back the same sideboard. Extraction Specialist, 2 Seers and a card out, and a Samwise for my pieces. Some sideboard hate. Not sure how much I like this sideboard plan, but it worked. Bit of a slow start from our opponent, just surveil into removal. I think they've got another piece of removal, so I'll just double spell here. We're gonna get turn 3 Gingerbread Cabin, which is kind of annoying. It comes in tapped, but I top deck a Sun Cleanser, which just stonewalls this Ragavan, gets me back my Gilded Goose on the Static Prison, that removes their energy. It's such a strong card against them. we kill my Birthing Ritual with Fragrant Charm. Fragrant Charm's one of the ways we can get rid of Sink Cleanser, so I'm kind of okay seeing this. If they just played like another creature and then played Fragrant Charm, and then I'd be kind of doomed. I'm not too sure what's in their hand. They've got 3 cards and 3 mana, and they've not cast anything. And then they flash in Containment Priest. So now I'm like extra happy that they killed my Birthing Ritual, because I'd much rather they killed like it would be much worse if they killed Sun Cleanser and then Containment Priest in response to Birthing Ritual. I just play out all my creatures and I can attack them with this Orc Army. I don't attack with the Werewolf because he's gonna flip his day-night mechanic. If I just don't cast anything, so I purposely flip him, and I know my opponent's like top decking, so it's really hard for them to flip it back. They cast Blood Moon, but I destroy it on the attack trigger. The backside of this card is really good. They decide to Lightning Bolt it, and Fragrant Charm take out their Orc instead of taking out the. We can't take out some guns if you've not got enough creatures. Again, I can just swing and pass. And I'm pretty much winning so long as you don't start gaining a load of life here. I Bowmaster their face, and it should be good. They can only block 2 of my creatures, and the Cold and Familiar can deal them the damage if we remove it. So for deck conclusions, I think the deck seemed pretty good. I think Samwise as an archetype is super underrated, and needs a lot more exploring. Cards I think that are essential for the deck are these ones in this left pile that I'm putting down now. I think Cord can be swapped out for Coco. I've seen people doing well with this, and I've also done well with Coco in the past, or done a mix of Cord and Coco. Usually goes pretty well. But I think you want 3 to 4 Seers, Cats, and 4 Samwises in every deck. Goose is pretty much standard. Just having that extra food lying about can be super useful. And then Birthing Rituals, really strong. Marionette Apprentice always overperforms for me, and I think Extraction Specialist is particularly good in Birthing Ritual decks, so I like these. In terms of the cards on this side, Grist didn't show up at all in this league. A few other guys like playing for Grist. It's definitely something I need to try out a bit heavier, go heavier on the Grist, but I think it's a fine inclusion, definitely as a tutor target, but it's kind of hard to tutor Grist. It costs like 6 mana, basically, or, whatever the X cost on card is. Gyrosaurs looked pretty mid. The Saffi combo looked pretty mid, especially online. I don't think I'd ever played more than 1 Saffi online. And in paper, I do want to playtest maybe 3 and cut the Bowmaster for it. But yeah, overall, I think the deck performed well. I think any deck with a Samwise combo and any deck with these 23 to 24 cards is going to perform well. I think this core has a high win rate in general, and I think it's really strong. It's just trying to find accompanying parts that are the best for the deck. But if you did enjoy the video, please interact. Please interact with the video at some point. Give us a comment, give us a like, give us a subscription if you feel. I think my next video is going to be an update to the Asmo video. Hopefully I can have that out by the end of the week. An updated version of the green-red Asmo list. And then I think I'm going to look into Standard. I think Standard is pretty interesting right now. It's the next RC season, and Foundations comes out at the end of this week.